Hello all, thank you very much. So I'm Emma Dickens, I'm Head of Communications and Engagement for Locala Health and Wellbeing. I'm really just here to introduce the team. I'm very excited, and I think the team are very excited to be shortlisted for Team of the Year. So for our engagement team, there's 4 in the team. They will introduce themselves and talk about various areas of the work. There's a picture there of the wider team, which is our communications and engagement team at Locala, largely because I love the photo and it just really demonstrates the community focus that we've got. Next slide, please. Very briefly, the organisation, Locala Health and Wellbeing, we're a member-owned social enterprise delivering NHS community healthcare services over quite a large geographical area, so Kirklees, Bradford, Calderdale. We've got 40-ish different clinical services over more than 40 sites, so it's a very sort of diverse and sort of expansive organisation with around 1,500 staff and volunteers. Thank you. And the team. So as I say, I'm Head of Communications and Engagement. We've got 2 engagement inclusion managers in the team and 2 engagement coordinators. They won't say this, but I will. They are highly dedicated individuals. They take on all of our patient experience and engagement activity, a really well-rounded and effective team. We're about to throw a huge amount of information at you. So the aim of this presentation really was to support the submission for the awards, which is to show the breadth of the work done with some highlights in the past year. So apologies for the amount of information, but I think it's kind of the point to show the range of methods and work done by the team. So I will hand over to them.
Thanks, Emma. So can we have the next slide, please? So my name's Holly. I'm engagement coordinator working with the engagement team at Locala. Our team work really closely with all services and colleagues across our organisation and with our local communities in order to make patient voice loud, put patients at the heart of all we do, and enabling our local communities to have a say in the health and care services that affect them. As a team, we work really closely with our clinical services on projects such as patient surveys, patient stories, and getting friends and family feedback in order to capture the voice, thoughts and feelings of our patients and use this to celebrate what we're doing well as an organisation and to make improvements to services when we hear how an experience could have been better. And as a team, we really recognise the importance of our colleagues celebrating their successes as well as working to make improvements to services, and this has obviously been especially important over the last 12 months. All feedback that we receive from patients is reviewed by us as a team, and then it's shared with our frontline colleagues and services, and they are encouraged to share that with their wider teams as part of team meetings. We also work really closely with our corporate services from across Locala, ensuring all of our services stay in touch with the primary purpose of our work, our patients, understanding their needs and feelings, and that patient voice is being considered as part of all our non-patient facing work too. This is often completed by sharing patient stories, by sharing video clips, videos or other feedback as part of team meetings. And as a team, we're all really passionate about engaging with the public and our local communities to ensure that they have a say in their local health and care services, and our community membership is one of the ways that we facilitate this. We also complete an annual community outreach programme and have developed extensive relationships with the third sector and community organisations to facilitate this. So that's just to give you a bit of an overview of our responsibilities. I will now hand over to Emma Boyce to talk you through the next few slides. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Emma Boyce, one of the engagement managers, just kindly introduced by Emma. So a little bit more on what Holly's just said. So within Locala, we have got really strong links with all our services, not just clinical services, but also with services such as IT, quality, customer liaison, safeguarding, all the different services that are within Locala. So we are split as an organisation within 2 business units. So myself and Sarah champion engagement within those services to enable and encourage as much engagement and to capture as much feedback as we can from our service users, carers, patients and third sector organisations. We're recognised really well and held in really high regard within our commissioning units within Kirklees, Calderdale and Bradford. We're often contacted to share our patient stories, to see what's on our engagement plans, and to just generally find out what the voice of the service user is within those areas or within those project areas that they're supporting at that current moment. So we work really closely with Healthwatch. Recently, we've just done a piece of work with Healthwatch to review some of our websites. So not only do we tap into the voice of our own service users, but we equally go out to contact Healthwatch and various different organisations to pull in that opinion, that experience, and to gather that feedback, which then in turn will help us to make improvements within that service. That project that I mentioned there, we were able to make over 50 improvements to our sexual health pages, and that was in a piece of work that happened over about 6 weeks, and that's something that happens quite frequently. So as a team, we use Smart Survey. We're able to offer the friends and family question out to our service users and carers. Not only do we ask that friends and family question, but we also have a lot of bespoke surveys that will follow on from that question. So we're able to gather a really rich understanding of experience, ideas of what we could do differently and things like that. So as Holly just mentioned, all of that feedback is shared directly into those services monthly. So as we pull our business unit reports together, we review every single piece of feedback that comes into the organisation, and we're able to share that then directly into services so that they can share that within the team meetings and obviously contribute to any ideas or improvements that may come from that, but most importantly to boost morale of our colleagues and to just demonstrate what an amazing job they're doing to support our service users. So we work really closely with our customer liaison team. So we have Nigel and Ahmed that look at all the PALs, complaints, concerns and comments and compliments. So we work really closely with them to make sure that any messages that come through their service are included within our projects and pieces of work that we're working with our clinical services on. That's really important, obviously, to make sure that we do hear every single piece of feedback and that we're not working in silos. At the moment, we're working really hard to create easy read surveys. So that's something that we've done within 3 areas of Locala at the moment, but have got plans to do more. Next slide, please. So this is just some facts and figures of what we've captured this over this last year. So 30 patient stories were captured. Some of these were videos, some of these were written, but all are shared within the services and also shared externally as well. And there's just a figure of our friends and family responses. And like I say, we've reviewed all of those. We're quite proud to say that, and they've all been shared outside of our team as well.
Hello, it's Sarah here. I'm just going to quickly go over what we did during the COVID pandemic. We were very fortunate that we could immediately mobilise the team and provided some support to isolated patients, where the third sector and the community teams were taking a little bit longer to get set up. We could completely step into the breach and set up befriending initiatives, phone calls. We were delivering shopping and food parcels, and our clinicians were feeding those contacts through to us so that we could step into the breach. And that was handed over when some of the community and third sector support was there, but we did step in immediately because we had the time, we had the effort, and we could just do it. What we also did was the fun element. I mean, our colleagues needed something, and they needed to engage with the rest of the team and the organisation. So we did do some of the fun element, quiz nights and so on, which were very well attended on a Friday night once a month throughout the pandemic. Also, the Doing Things Differently survey we did later on in October, just to get an idea of how our patients were thinking about some of the very new services that they were methods of communicating with their clinicians they were engaging in. So Zoom calls, Teams calls, and some of the different methods. So that was really important, that we could just see what was happening then, so that we could go back and look at how we could improve on that. So we picked up on some people's lack of confidence, some problems with people with communication problems, because these things were set up very quickly. So that survey allowed us to then go back and look at some improvements we could make in those new ways of communicating with people. I'm going to quickly hand on now, because I know time is not our friend at the moment. So next slide, please.
Hello, I'm Joanne. I'm part of the engagement team as well. Whether it's getting clinical teams involved, patients involved, or the public and community groups and organisations involved, our aim is to listen to and work with as many people as possible, as flexibly as possible. Our ultimate goal is to improve the healthcare experience for people who use our services at Locala. What our team does enables this approach and allows us to grow and nurture many proactive links into our clinical teams and into our local communities. We visit many local groups to build relationships so that we can more easily work with local people in the future on future projects. And obviously COVID has had a massive impact on that. So we tried to keep in touch as much as we possibly could virtually with our local groups. This slide shows some of our toolbox. So our engagement champions keep us up to date with service developments and capacity in teams, and they help share patient feedback with every single colleague in Locala. Our young people's network tell us what matters to local young people, and our patient participation groups and reader panels help us make more improvements to literature, patient information, and making sure it's jargon free and user friendly and easy read format if this is required.
The last one is really just a summary, so it felt remiss not to mention it. So it's Locala's recent CQC report that acknowledged the work done by the team.